The following program originates live with the NBC television network.
NBC Sports presents the 1965 World Series. From Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles, California, the Minnesota Twins meeting the Los Angeles Dodgers. Good afternoon, everybody. This is Vin Scully, along with Ray Scott, welcoming you to Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles and the third game of the 1965 World Series. In appreciation for your continued support, the Gillette Safety Razor Company and Chrysler Corporation bring you this series and such other outstanding events as the All-Star Baseball Game, NCAA College Football, and the 1966 Rose Bowl Game, exclusively on NBC. A capacity crowd here at the ballpark of somewhere in the neighborhood of 55 to 56,000. And for the Dodgers, they either win today or I guess it's time to make out your shopping list for Christmas. They're down by 2. No ball club in World Series history has ever lost the first 3 and come back to win. They go with left-hander Claude Osteen, who had beaten Minnesota 5 times while he was in the American League, and the Twins counter with their ace right-hander Camilo Pascual. We'll have something else to say about the Dodgers, but right now, let's meet the voice of the Minnesota Twins, who's got to be thinking about Christmas. On the happy side, Ray Scott.
Thank you, Vin Scully, and hi again, everybody. The Twins are well aware of what Vin Scully just mentioned to you, namely that Claude Osteen has exercised some sort of a hex, if you will, over the Twins, but not so much a hex as just plain good pitching. The Twins say that if Osteen has his control, no one is tougher as far as they are concerned. But they also are aware of the fact that Osteen against the Twins was in another year. Pascual, meanwhile, as many of you know, has undergone surgery. He has come back, and he has not been able to pitch outstanding baseball since his operation, but he has been able to come back and show that he is physically sound. Camilo has, for a number of years, been recognized as one of the premier curveball pitchers in baseball. But his curve has not been, by his own admission, quite as good as it was before the operation. But he still has the good fastball, and all in all, it looks like a fine pairing as far as the pitching is concerned for this third game of the 1965 World Series.
Here's a fellow I believe has some pressure on him. Koufax and Drysdale have lost. The Dodgers have not won, and they're looking to him to do it. What are his thoughts about this third game of the World Series? We asked him just a couple of minutes ago.
Well, sure, I'm well aware that Sandy Koufax and Don Drysdale have both lost the first 2 ball games, but at this stage of the ball game, especially since we've been playing professional baseball for 9 or 10 years, most of us, you certainly can't lay down and quit now, because we've played this game long enough to know that you can't change your style of pitching for any particular game, and I'm just going to be pitching my regular ball game. I know that I have beaten the Twins 5 times in the past, and I'm not going to let this enter into anything that I would do during this ball game. I'm just going to pitch the way I have all year and hope for the best.
So Claude Osteen getting ready to take the mound. The Dodgers, who will take the field. The captain at shortstop, Maury Wills, followed by the veteran Jim Gilliam, and Willie Davis in center field hitting third. Ron Fairley in the cleanup spot in right, and Lou Johnson in left. Jim Lefevre at second base, Wes Parker at first hitting 8th, along with Johnny Roseborough, the catcher, and then the pitcher, Claude Osteen. The third game of the 1965 World Series being brought to you from Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles, California. Here at Dodger Stadium, the Marine Corps Color Guard marching the colors out to center field and the crowd standing in respect. A rather gray day in Los Angeles, and we are hopeful that the sun will burn off the overcast. Now, to give you the picture, the crowd standing, and the public address announcer John Ramsey introducing Laurits Melchior, who will sing our national anthem.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Lawrence Melchior.
The large crowd settling back for baseball. And to give you the Minnesota lineup and the particulars in play-by-play, the voice of the Minnesota Twins, here is Ray Scott.
Right, Ben. The Twins today will start off with shortstop Zoilo Versailles. Zoilo, one of the Twins' big men so far in the series. In center field, right-handed batting Joe Nosick. I should tell you, Versailles bats right-handed. In right field, batting third, left-handed swinging Tony Oliva. The Twins' third baseman, Harmon Killebrew, will again be in the cleanup spot. Earl Batty will bat number 5, the Twins' catcher. In left field, right-handed batting Bob Allison, whose sensational catch of a sinking liner in the second game of the series was not only one of the World Series' greatest defensive plays, but it could well have turned around the second game. Don Mincher bats 7 and will be the first baseman. First-year player Frank Quillisi is at second, and on the mound with a record of 9 wins and 3 losses in the regular season, and making his first World Series appearance, as is the Dodger left-hander Claude Osteen. Pasquale has won 9 and lost 3. And now the announcement to this huge throng here that Casey Stengel, one of baseball's greatest names, will throw out the first ball. And it's to catcher Johnny Roseboro. So Casey Stengel, recovering from his accident, goes to his seat, and the Dodgers take the field. The Dodgers defensively today will have Wes Parker at first, Jim Lefevre at second, Maury Wills at short, Junior Gilliam at third, the left fielder Lou Johnson, Willie Davis in center, Ron Fairley in right, John Roseboro the catcher, and on the mound, the 15-game winner in the regular season, Claude Osteen. Twin coaches: at first base, Jim Lemon. At third base, Billy Martin. The umpires for this third game of the 1965 World Series from the American League behind the plate, John Flaherty. At first base from the National League, Ed Sudol. The American League's Bob Stewart will be at second. Calling him as he sees him at third will be the National League's Ed Vargo. Along the left field line, Tony Benson from the National League, and on the right field line, Ed Hurley of the American League. Claude Osteen, and much has been made of this, and rightfully so, has never lost to the Twins. While pitching for the Washington Senators, his former club, he compiled a record of 5 wins and no losses against the Twins. In the regular season, he won 15 and lost 15. He was, I guess there's always one pitcher, it seems, on every winning ball club who is destined not to get run support. And Osteen had that happen to him this season because despite a .500 record, his earned run average was a sparkling 2.79. He worked 287 innings. The Twins regard him as a tremendous competitor, and to a man they say one thing: if he is getting his pitches over, he is tough to beat. The Dodgers will play Versailles just about straight away, and lefty Claude Osteen will try to put the Dodgers on the winning track, and here's the first pitch of the third game. Deep to left, into the stands, ground rule double. Lou Johnson went to the corner, didn't have a chance to make a play on the ball, and Versailles continues his tremendous hitting. And here is the center fielder, Joe Nozick. He started the second game when the Dodgers used the left-hander, Sandy Koufax. He collected 1 hit in 3 at-bats. In a step at third, Gilliam. Right side. Out at first, and Versailles goes to third. Parker to Osteen for the put-out. Here is Tony Oliva. The runner has to hold. 2 down. Versailles, believing Osteen might field the ball, had to hold at third. And with 2 down, the batter is Harmon Killebrew. He has had 3 hits in 6 at-bats in the series and has knocked in a run. Ball 4. Just off the outside edge. So pitching carefully, Killebrew walks, and with 2 down, the Twins catcher Earl Batty comes to the plate. Batty, in the first 2 games of the series, collected 2 hits in 8 at-bats and knocked in 2 runs. Strike. Killebrew is going to second. The throw down there. Versailles halfway to the plate, being run now toward the plate. The throw is to the catcher. Versailles back to third, and he is out. And so, at the end of the first half inning, the score is the Twins 0, and the Dodgers are coming to bat. The Twins defensively have Don Mincher at first. Frank Quillisi at second, flanked by the shortstop, Zoilo Versailles. Harmon Killebrew is at third. The left fielder, Bob Allison. Joe Nozick in center. Tony Oliva in right. Earl Batty is the catcher. And right-hander Camilo Pascual is the pitcher. The Dodger coaches at first, Danny Ozark. And at third, Preston Gomez. Leading it off, Maury Wills. In the series, 3 hits, 9 at-bats, and an RBI. Killebrew, out. That's the first time in the series that Wills has really tested Killebrew. He bunted for a base hit to drive in a run in the first game, but it was a drag bunt toward first. With 1 out, here is Jim Gilliam. 1 for 9 in the series. First inning, no score. The Dodgers batting with 1 out and none on. Ball 1. Ball 2. Ball 3. Strike, 3-1. Strike, 3-2. For those of you who like to keep a scorecard, I should tell you that put out on Versailles went 2-6-2-5, with the third baseman getting the put out. Base hit. Tony Oliva. A double. Gilliam, with one away, is on second. That's the Dodgers' second extra base hit in the series. The other was the home run by Fairley in the first game, and here is Willie Davis. The Dodgers center fielder is 1 for 8. Center fielder Joe Nossick, 2 down, and Gilliam will hold at second. Nossick showing a fine arm. And as Willie Davis goes to the dugout, Ron Fairley comes to the plate. Bob Allison. And the Dodgers are out, leaving one man on. And at the end of the first inning, the score is the Dodgers nothing and the Twins nothing. Well, we have a scoreless first inning. Osteen and Pasquale in this third game, and the Twins in the second will send up catcher Earl Batty, left fielder Bob Allison, and first baseman Don Mincher. Batty was the batter when the Twins either tried a delayed double steal or else conceivably a hit-and-run sign was on. This 1965 World Series game being brought to you live and in color exclusively on NBC as Gilliam throws out Batty. Bob Allison is the Twins batter. Fair ball, Roseboro to Parker. 2 down. The Twins' first baseman comes to the plate now. 2 hits, 7 at-bats, including a homer. Minch at one time had the label of being able to hit only right-handed pitching. He has changed it this season. Base hit. Hit number 2 off Osteen. Mincher on first with 2 out in the second. And the batter is the second baseman, Frank Quillisi. 1 hop to Wills, to Lefevre. Mincher is forced. The Twins are out and leave 1 on. And so at the end of an inning and a half, the score is the Twins nothing and the Dodgers nothing. How does Pasquale feel? Here's what he had to say a few moments before the game started.
My arm has been feeling real good, and my fastball has been as good as ever. Maybe my curveball is I don't feel really satisfied, but it's because I don't have working enough. But I feel real good and I'm ready to go.
Lou Johnson leads it off for the Dodgers in the second. 1 hit in 8 trips. The Dodger left fielder. Deep to left center. Off the wall. A double. The Dodgers' third extra base hit of the series. Johnson leads off the Dodgers' second with a double. And the batter, another member of this Dodger switch-hitting infield, Jim Lefevre. He's had a good series. 3 hits, 8 at-bats. Allison in left, 1 away. The first baseman, Wes Parker. He's had just 4 official at-bats despite playing the first 2 games of the series. He's had 2 hits. Nossick in center. Johnson tagging at second. 2 down and a runner at third. Johnson at third. 2 out. And the batter is Roseboro. Quillisi to Mincher. The Dodgers are out and leave 1 on. And so at the end of the second inning, the score is the Twins nothing and the Dodgers nothing. Score, well now, we'll join in that. 62 years of age today. I mention it because it's already been publicized and I can't be accused of revealing any state secrets. So a happy birthday to the president of the Dodgers, Mr. Walter O'Malley. Claude Osteen will be called upon to face Pasquale, Versailles, and Nossick here in the third inning. I had earlier mentioned that Camilo's a pretty good batter. Now, his average this season, just 200, with 12 hits in 60 at-bats, but included in his hits, 2 home runs, and 1 was a grand slammer. He knocked in 8 runs. Pasquale dearly loves a high outside fastball. Right back to the mound, and on to first, 1 away. Versailles has collected 4 hits in 11 at-bats. A homer, a triple, a double, and a single. So Versailles is hit for the cycle. Ground ball to second. Lefevre on to first, 2 down. Second baseman Lefevre. Out at first, a 1-2-3 inning. So, at the end of 2.5 innings, the score, the Dodgers nothing and the Twins nothing. In the Dodger third, the pitcher, Claude Osteen, the shortstop, Maury Wills, and the third baseman, Jim Gilliam. Osteen in the regular season had 12 hits and 99 at-bats. Base hit. For the second inning in a row, the Dodgers have the leadoff batter on. Osteen wants the warm-up jacket. That's the National League's Ed Sudol, the umpire at first. Wills, trying to bunt his way on in the first inning, was thrown out by third baseman Harmon Killebrew. Versailles to Quillisi, no chance for the double play. 1 out. The batter now, Jim Gilliam. Versailles at the mound to have a word with Pasquale. Now, Wills has not stolen a base in the World Series. Pasquale, as I am sure you have noticed, has a big motion. When he rears back, a base runner has that additional split second. Gilliam doubled his first trip. There goes Wills, strike. And the ball not held by Versailles. Stolen base. There it is on instant replay, and you can see that if the throw had been down, the Twins conceivably would have been able to get Wills. Batty got rid of the ball in a hurry, but it was just a bit high. And so the Dodgers have Wills at second with 1 out, a count of strike 1 to Gilliam. Gilliam's double in the first inning. He pulled an inside pitch between Mincher, the first baseman, and the line. No score. Top last half of the third. The bunt attempt is foul. Strike 2. Short, the first, 2 down, and Wills at third. The batter will be Willie Davis, and we'll watch with interest and see whether Pasquale works out of a windup or not with Wills on third. Pasquale will not work out of a windup. He does not get the slow curve. Strike one. Now that, in my opinion, is the best curveball Pasquale has thrown today. Mincher out at first, and a near collision as Mincher decided not to risk the throw. The Dodgers are out and leave one on. So at the end of the third inning, the score is the Twins nothing and the Dodgers nothing. We pause for station identification. Tony Oliva has some problems with the English language, but we did get a chance to ask him about facing Claude Osteen.
Let's see, Osteen, he used to pitch for Washington, and he beat us about 4 or 5 times. And he got a pretty good fastball, and he got a good curve. But this is last year, and this is a different year. He's now in different club, and last year sometimes we got 4 or 5 runs, 3 runs, and he still beat us. So maybe this year is different.
Oliva has been held well in check by Dodger pitching in this series, collecting just 1 hit in 9 at-bats. It was a double, and it produced a run. In the first inning today, grounded out second to first. Strike. Strike 2. The Dodgers give Oliva a lot of room in right center. There's the gap in right center. Foul. Foul. Strike 3. Osteen has his first strikeout. Killebrew suffered a dislocation of the left elbow in a collision with the Orioles' Russ Snyder on the 2nd of August and was out of action about 7 weeks. Pulled the short to first, 2 down. With 2 out and none on and no score here in the 4th inning, Earl Batty comes to the plate. Was thrown out by Gilliam in the 2nd inning. Earl was quite a basketball player at one time. Couple of bounces to short. 1, 2, 3. And so at the end of 3.5 innings, the score is still the Twins nothing and the Dodgers nothing. Tonight at 8:30, 7:30 Central Time, that super sleuth, Maxwell Smart, outsmarts a band of smugglers. Watch the world's worst secret agent in action tonight on Get Smart in color. Ron Fairley starts it off for the Dodgers in the 4th inning, to be followed by Lou Johnson and Jim Lefevre. There is no score. Fairley flied out to left in the 1st inning. Fair ball. Allison fielding the ball. And 3 innings in a row, the leadoff batter on. Fairly content to go with the outside pitch and not try to overpower it. So 4 Dodger hits, and 3 of them have been doubles.
In the Dodger 4th, the game still is scoreless as Fairley leads off the inning. Pasquale takes his big windup, cuts loose, and Ron smashes the ball just inches inside third base. And he pulls up at second with a double.
The batter, Lou Johnson, doubled up the left center field alley in the 2nd inning. No score, but the Dodgers with the leadoff batter on second in the last of the 4th. Pasquale to Mincher, and the runner moves to third, one out. The Twins are now looking to the dugout as Jim Lefevre comes to the plate. The Twins wanting manager Sam Mealy to indicate where shall we play in the infield. Lefevre sent a fly ball to shallow left in the second inning with Johnson on second. He comes up now with Fairley on third and only one out in the last of the fourth of a scoreless game. Versailles with a tremendous play, and the runner is held at third. A base hit. Zoilo Versailles cutting off a certain run, but the Dodgers still have a one-out threat going with runners at first and third. The batter, Wes Parker, sent a fly ball to center in the second inning. Hit it deep. Ball one. Outside, ball two. Ball three. Ball four. Safe at third. Bases are loaded with one out. Earl Batty has asked for time and a meeting at the mound. Harmon Killebrew joins the discussion. John Roseboro grounded out second to first in the second inning. Base hit. One run is across. Throw to the plate, and he is safe. 2-0.
Parker's walk fills the bases with only one out, and Pasquale is in trouble. Pasquale faces Roseboro, who singles, and Fairley comes on home. Also heading for the plate is Jim Lefevre, who scores standing up, and the Dodgers are out in front, 2-0.
Jim Lefevre twisted his ankle while coming to the plate. Roseboro has his second and third runs batted in of the series, and the Dodgers take a 2-0 lead. And the pitcher, Claude Osteen, comes to the plate. Slapped an outside pitch into left field for a base hit in the third inning. 6 hits off Pasquale. The Twins are anticipating a bunt. A pop-up, third baseman Killebrew, and the infield fly rule is in effect, and it's 2 down. Maury Wills comes up, grounded out in the first, grounded into a force play in the third, and then proceeded to steal second. The runner from second going for third, the throw, and he is safe. And the runner goes to second. So Parker steals third. Roseboro steals second. And there's the instant replay of that steal, and with Killebrew playing in tight, you'll note the throw was there in time, but with the third baseman in, he could not get the ball to the runner, and so the Dodgers have runners at second and third. It was a strike to Wills. Into shallow center, Versailles is back, and the Dodgers are out, but score twice. And so, at the end of the fourth inning, the score, the Dodgers 2 and the Twins 0. This 1965 World Series game is being brought to you live and in color exclusively on NBC. Well, Vin Scully, with the announcement that Dick Trzaskowski is the new second baseman, did you notice at what point Jimmy Lefevre might have injured his ankle?
Yes, I did, Ray. When Lefevre was scoring on the base hit by Roseboro, Osteen and Wills were up at the plate telling Jimmy to slide. because Tony Oliva has one of the great throwing arms in the American League. Lefebvre seemed to hesitate as to whether he was going to slide or come in standing up. And it was at that point, I believe, when he twisted the ankle, and he eventually came in standing up and now goes out.
So a new Dodger second baseman, Dick Tracewski, and Bob Allison is up, taking a curve from Osteen for strike one. Foul off the hand of Billy Martin, strike two. Just a bit low with the fastball, ball one, strike two. Strikeout. As Don Mincher comes to the plate, we asked him before the ball game about facing Osteen.
I think the reason that Osteen has given us a little trouble in the past is because he has real good stuff. He keeps his pitches low, and when he pitched against us before, we didn't have boys like Oliva that, you know, is our third hitter now who can hit left-handers as well as right-handers, and Versailles has come along so much better since the time that he pitched against us that I think we should fare a lot better against him, and he's got good control. But now that we've got the confidence we can beat anybody, I'm sure that we'll be tougher on him than before.
Mincher singled his first time up today. Tracewski, the first, two down. Dick Tracewski, many of you recall, is no stranger to World Series competition. He played in all four games when the Dodgers swept the Yankees in 1963. Here's Frank Quillisi, grounded into a force out in the second inning. 2 out and none on. Fifth inning. First baseman Wes Parker calling. Another 1-2-3 inning. And so, at the middle of the fifth inning, the score is the Dodgers 2 and the Twins nothing. The second half of today's game is brought to you by Chrysler Corporation. Today's host, Chrysler and Imperial, and your local Chrysler and Imperial dealers. As we move to the last half of the fifth inning with the Dodgers leading 2-0, it's my pleasure to bring in, to carry you along the rest of the way, the voice of the Dodgers, Vin Scully.
Thank you, Ray, and hi, everybody. Jim Gilliam, Willie Davis, and Ron Fairley in that order. 2-0 Dodgers, bottom of the fifth. Jim 1 for 2. High drive to deep right, hooking down the line, foul, and deep in the lower deck. 0-1. Up fly on the right side, Mincher and Quillisi, with Quillisi calling. One away. Willie Davis, fly to center, grounded to first, 0 for 2. Willie 1 for 10 in the series. Fastball, line to center, Nossick plays it on a hop. Seven hits for the Dodgers, and Willie Davis is a definite threat to go. In fact, right now, with Fairley up, among other things, with less than 2 outs, there's a definite possibility of a hit-and-run play. Willie Davis stole 25 bases this year. Fairley has been unable to pull Pasquale. He flied to left and then doubled to left. Willie held on by Don Mincher. Willie and Wills, if they were put shoulder to shoulder in a 100-yard dash, Willie Davis would win. However, no one is able to get off in high gear the way Wills does. It takes Willie a few steps to build up to top speed. There he goes. Off the glove, down to Quillisi. No play at second. The play is to first. So they played hit and run, and Fairley winds up grounding out to Frank Quillisi. One thing that helped the Twins with Willie going, Quillisi was breaking towards the bag and therefore came right into the play. 2 out. Here's Lou Johnson. Willie's going to third. Line drive into left center, base hit. Willie scores, And Johnson's heading for two. He's in there.
In the Dodger fifth, Batty huddles with Pasquale. The National Leaguers have a man in scoring position again. Willie Davis is on second with Lou Johnson at bat. Pasquale comes to a set position, delivers, and Johnson drives the ball into the left center alley. It's a double, and Davis scores easily. The Los Angeles Dodgers now lead 3-0 in 5 innings.
The Dodgers now have 4 doubles in their 8 hits. They lead 3-0. Johnson 2 for 2, both doubles, and Dick Tracewski the batter. 2 out. So Camilo Pasquale having trouble putting that ball where he wants it. He's getting it up, and they're being hit. Mickey Rooney guest stars in a power-pack drama this Wednesday evening when Bob Hope presents the Chrysler Theater in color at 9, 8 Central Time on NBC. The Twins make a change. Rich Rollins, right-hand batter, coming up to bat for Camilo Pasquale. Comebacker. Osteen to Parker. 1 away. Zoilo Versalles, who has really stood out in this series with the glove, with the bat, with his legs. Today, he doubled, grounded out, made a fine play on the ball hit by Lefevre. Hit to center, base hit. So Versalles has his 5th hit of the series. Boy, he's an exciting player to watch. Joe Nossick had a few thoughts about the series. Here's what he said.
The field is much harder than the Minnesota field has been lately, and I think the sun's going to play a factor today. It's cloudy out there now, and I hope it stays that way because in center field the sun is right in the fielder's eyes. So if it stays cloudy, it shouldn't be too rough out there today.
Line drive over Tracewski's glove, and Versalles goes into third base. So a line drive single to put Twins at first and third with 1 out as Minnesota now tries to get back in business. American League batting champ Tony Oliva coming up, and the Dodger bullpen will stir around. That's Howie Reed, number 39, right-hander, and Ron Peronoski, the left-hander. Osteen had a string going. He had retired 11 in a row and has now given up back-to-back singles to Versalles and Nossick. And here is Oliva, grounded out and struck out. Gilliam at the bag. Parker holding Nossick. Second base back. Ground ball to Tracewski. He's on the bag for 1. Doubles him at first. No runs. 2 hits, 2 left. And at the end of 5.5, Dodgers 3, Twins nothing. Bottom of the 6th inning, the totals, the Dodgers 3 runs, 8 hits, and no errors. They have left 6. The Twins, no runs, 4 hits, and no errors. They have left 3. Camilo Pasquale went 5, and left-hander Jim Merritt will pick up and become the first Minnesota relief pitcher in the series. Jim Merritt, 6'3", 180-pounder. He was born in Altadena, California. He lives in West Covina. He was at one time a Dodger clubhouse boy, both home and away, as far as the clubhouses are concerned at the Coliseum. And both Jim Lefevre and Jim Merritt worked in the clubhouse. They were both on the Dodger rookie squad, amateur players. And then Merritt was eventually drafted by Minnesota. The one natural, of course, would be to have Merritt pitch against Lefevre. But the quirk of fate had Lefevre twist his ankle and have to come out in the 4th inning. Wes Parker Johnny Roseboro and Claude Osteen in the sixth. Dodgers 3, Twins nothing. Ball 1. Hit into right center for the base hit. Nossick up with the ball, so Wes Parker is 1 for 2. And the Dodger leadoff man has done well, getting on in the second, in the third, in the fourth, and in the sixth. Here is Johnny Roseboro, who's had the big hit so far today for the Dodgers. Single to right to drive in 2 in the fourth inning. Parker, during the regular season, stole 13. High fly ball to right field. Oliva's there. 1 away. Here comes Claude Osteen. Claude single to left in the third inning, popped up in the fourth. Killebrew playing up inside the bag, and Mincher ready to push off at first. Strike. Claude around as if to bunt, then pull that bat back. The bunt's on, and it's fouled away. Now Osteen is checking to see if they want him to try and bunt with 2 strikes. The bunt. Down to get it, Merritt has to go to first base to second baseman Quillisi covering. So the sacrifice works. Parker moves up 90 feet, and the batter will be Maury Wills. (1-4) if you're scoring. Merritt almost stumbled as he fielded that ball. Wills tried to bunt his way aboard, and Killebrew threw him out in the first inning. Hit into a force play in the third, and popped up in the fourth. All 3 trips, he was hitting left-handed against Pasquale. Now he'll go the other way. When Wills bats right-handed, most of the time when he bunts, he pushes it up along first base. Lined into right center field. Nossick coming over in a hurry. Dives. Can't get it. Backed up nicely by Oliva. The run is over, a double for Wills. Well, Maury Wills picks up a double, and the Dodgers now have 10 hits, 5 of them doubles. Nossick really let out to try and catch it, and Oliva made a fine heads-up play to back up. Had the ball gotten by Nossick and Oliva not backing up, Wills would have had a cinched triple. So it is 4-0 Dodgers, and here is Gilliam. Everybody in the Dodger lineup now has at least 1 hit. Pickoff play, but no throw. Johnny Klipstein, veteran right-hander, loosening up in the Twins bullpen. Wills trying to open a hole for Gilliam. Pickoff play, they get him. And the Dodgers settle for a run on 2 hits, nobody left. And at the end of 6 innings of play, the Dodgers 4 and the Twins nothing. We pause now for station identification.
This is the CBC Television Network.
Let's take a look at that pickoff play involving Wills at second base. There's Maury. And Quillisi is there to hang him out to dry. Seventh inning. Dodgers 4 runs, 10 hits, and no errors. The Twins, no runs, 4 hits, and no errors. And big boy coming up, Harmon Killebrew to lead it off. Then Earl Batty and Bob Allison. High fly ball to right. Fairley coming over, his sunglasses down. When Osteen's fastball is working properly, he's a tough man to pull. That fastball had a little tail on it. Killebrew tried to pull, and as you saw, hit the fly ball to right. Earl Batty has grounded to third, grounded to short. So he's 2 for 10. The left-hander loosening up now is Bill Please, along with right-hander Johnny Klipstein. Fly ball to Willie Davis. He flicks the shades down. 2 out. Here's the man who made the great defensive play the other day in Metropolitan Stadium, Bob Allison. Roll down to Trasuski. That'll do it. They're out in order, 1, 2, 3, and the score at the end of 6.5 innings of play, Dodgers 4, Twins nothing. As we go to the bottom of the 7th, 4-0 Dodgers, and I butchered the pronunciation of his name, so with everybody watching, let's straighten it out. The left-hander is Bill Pleiss, and I'm sorry, Bill, with him, Johnny Klipstein. Jim Gilliam, Willie Davis, and Ron Fairley. Line to left field, Allison in his tracks. 1 away. The message board in left field now informs us that the x-rays on Jim Lefever's ankle negative. And it turns out to be a bruised heel. However, they do not tell us whether he's ready to play tomorrow or not. Willie Davis is 1 for 3. Slide to center, roll to first, single to center. Curveball, popped up. Mincher and Batty hustling over. Need a man, and Batty drops to his knees. He hit that railing very hard. It's a padded railing, but he went in there straight up. It was as if somebody walked up and whacked him. George Lentz, the Minnesota trainer, making sure Earl is all right. It is rare that you see a player injured near his own dugout. Normally, he could hear his teammates telling him no play or no room or look out. But with the big crowd roaring, Earl never heard anyone in the Minnesota dugout, and he hit the railing. Now, as you notice, that railing just to the right on the picture, behind George Lentz, is padded. There's the replay. There's Mincher, but it's Batty we're worrying about. Bam! Drove him to his knees. Tremendous effort by Batty, with his club trailing by 4, bottom of the 7th. Anxious Twins, and Willie Davis went over to make sure he was all right. And they're bringing a towel that appears to be dripping with ice water and applying it perhaps to Earl's face and then also at the base of the neck. You can see George Lentz now mopping Earl's face, the ice-cold towel. So suddenly, in the 3rd game of the series, we have 2 players shaken up. Lefever had to leave in the 4th, and now Batty driven to his knees in a collision with the padded fencing around the dugout seats. Those dugout seats were inspired by the seats in Japanese ballparks. And Earl now being taken away. And we will have to have another catcher, unfortunately. Batty a little groggy. Jerry Zimmerman might be coming in. He has World Series experience. Zim was with the Cincinnati Reds, and here he comes.
In the Dodgers 7th, Davis lifts a foul near the visiting dugout. Don Mincher gives chase. So does Batty. With eyes turned skyward, wham! He strikes the railing with his neck. Batty is knocked to his knees and can't continue. Jerry Zimmerman replaces him and talks with Merritt.
Now catching. Football Minnesota. Number 22. Jerry Zimmerman.
The Dodgers played exhibition games in Japan in 1956, and it was in the Japanese ballparks they first saw dugout seats. Walter O'Malley quite impressed with the arrangement, and when he built Dodger Stadium, they were installed. 1-1 the count to Willie Davis, and as soon as we get a report on Earl, we'll pass it to you. 1 out, 7th inning, 4-0 Dodgers. Slow curve and a high fly ball down the right field line, hooking in the corner. Oliva leans over and one-hands it for the out and made it look easy. Fine play by Tony. Well, he can do it all. So a fine play by Tony Oliva on the foul ball in the corner. Take another look as he just goes over so gracefully and leans in. Real easy like. Ron Fairley flied to left, double to left, grounded out, 1 for 3. Slow curve, hit to left center. Nossick had a good jump, goes back and makes the running catch. A fine play. He's a fine outfielder. And the Dodgers are out on fly balls. And at the end of 7 innings of play, Dodgers 4, Twins nothing. The anticipated change for the Dodgers. John Kennedy is now at third base for Jim Gilliam. As we go to the 8th inning with the Dodgers 4 runs, 10 hits and no errors, the Twins no runs, 4 hits and no errors. There's John Kennedy. One note about Kennedy, he made his debut in the major leagues against the Minnesota Twins. And he homered as a pinch batter, breaking up a no-hitter of Dick Stigman in 1962. Largest crowd ever to see a game at Dodger Stadium, 55,934, surpassing by about 30 or 20 the World Series crowds of 1963. Bounce it to Parker, backs up, doubles up to get it, underhands to Osteen. Tough play. When you have to back up on a ball here at Dodger Stadium, you risk the problem of letting that ball play you. And Parker, even though it skidded, kind of folded his body over it, and then Osteen alertly covering. Here's Quillisi. Quillisi hit into a force play and popped up. Frank 0 for 2. Pinch hitter on deck for Jim Merritt. Breaking ball, a strike. There's the report on Earl. One and one. Oh, I hope not. Oh, that's good news. The first paragraph of the Earl Batty story. On the corner with the fastball. Boy, that's quite a pitch. His control has been that good. 1 and 2. Osteen has allowed 4 hits. He had 1 trouble spot with 1 out, back-to-back singles in the 6th, and then Oliva hit into the double play. Change-up, foul back. Quillisi waiting and just did foul it off. Fastball just missed. 2 and 2. Ball 3. 3 and 2. Ground ball to Kennedy right under him. Into left field. Quillisi rounding first and holding on as Lou Johnson gets it back in. Tough play. Kennedy played it to come up. The ball sunk, and he started to back up, as you saw. And he gets an error. Boy, once you back up in this ballpark, you're asking for trouble. That's Bob Miller, right-hander, loosening up in the Dodger bullpen. Sandy Valdeспino will come up and bat. He went 1 for 4 in the first game of the World Series. He doubled against Don Drysdale. Sandy Valdeспino will bat for Jimmy Merritt. Sandy hit .261 during the year. He jammed him, a little looper to Tracewski. No play at first. 2 out. So a fastball up and in, jammed Valdeспino. That brings up Zoilo Versailles. Osteen, as you can see, is not a big man. He's not tremendously strong. He started 40 games during the regular season and completed 9. Some of them, however, he had to come out for a pinch hitter. Ball 4. So his pitches now are starting to miss. He's not nearly as sharp as he was from the 3rd through the 7th. That's the second walk allowed by Osteen. And the Twins, with 2 outs, on an error and a walk, have runners at first and second, and here is Joe Nozick. Nozick has grounded out twice and singled, 1 for 3. He made the ball players out in the first inning. Versailles had doubled, and Nozick hit the ball to the right side, grounding out to get Versailles over to third. That's one of the least appreciated and biggest plays in baseball. Little pop fly on a breaking ball to Wills. No runs, no hits, an error, 2 left. And at the end of 7.5 innings of play, the Dodgers 4, the Twins nothing. Lou Johnson will lead it off for the Dodgers in the bottom of the 8th inning. And here's how Lou feels about the World Series.
I know we lost 2 games, but it takes 4 games to win this thing, and I've been playing ball about 13 years now, and I know I'm not going to let those 2 games upset me. And we're going out today, and we're going to win this game, and it's going to put a little pressure on them. What actually has happened is that the people think that we are down, and by losing 2 games, well, naturally the favorites turn over to Minnesota. But that's not true, as I said before. It takes 4 games to win this thing, and I've been playing 13 years. And I'm not going to settle for the loser's share now. I'm going for the winner's share.
Bottom of the 8th inning, the 3rd Minnesota pitcher, right-hander Johnny Klipstein. Camilo Pascual went 5. Jim Merritt went 2. Pascual gave up 3 runs, 8 hits. Merritt 1 run, 2 hits. And now here's Johnny. Klipstein at one time in the Dodger organization. He came up to Montreal and was drafted by the Cubs, but made it to the Dodgers in 1958 and in 59. Breaking ball. Klipstein pitched for the Dodgers in the 1959 World Series against the Chicago White Sox. He was in 1 game, worked 2 innings, did not allow a run. Fouled away. 0-2. Behind him, 2-2. Ball 3. Ball 4. So Lou Johnson draws a walk. He's bidding for a perfect day. 2 doubles, a walk, and a sacrifice. It is the second walk given to the Dodgers, one by Pascual and this one by Klipstein, and Osteen has walked 2. Here's Krasuski, grounded out in the 5th inning. The Twins think he might bunt. He's around a bunt, takes a strike. A pitch out, no action. Strike, 1-2. There goes Johnson. Hit and run, it's fouled away. He goes again. Swung on and missed. The throw down to Versailles. He got him. Nice tag, and whoop, Lou, hold everything. There are a lot of people watching. A quick tag by Versailles. And Johnson is out 2-6 from Jerry Zimmerman to Zoilo Versailles. We'll take a look at it on NBC Instant Replay. There's Lou. There's Versailles. And there's second base umpire Stewart. Hold on. So Lou just about cooled off now. Wills pats him on the back. 2 out. And Wes Parker at the plate. Little pop fly. Versailles calling. That'll do it. No runs, no hits, nobody left, and at the end of 8 innings of play, the Dodgers 4, the Twins nothing. 9th inning, the totals through 8. The Dodgers 4 runs, 10 hits, and 1 error. The Twins no runs, 4 hits, and no errors. The Twins in the ninth will send up Tony Oliva, Harmon Killebrew, and then we'll see about catcher Jerry Zimmerman. Oliva grounded out in the first inning, struck out in the fourth, and then with 2 on and 1 out in the sixth, hit into a double play. Curve is lined to center, base hit. Willie gets it back in. So Oliva, he is 2 for 12. And the batter, Harmon Killebrew. Drive into left center, but Willie's there. 1 away. Tony Oliva at first base, 1 out, and Jerry Zimmerman will come up. On deck, Bob Allison. So Zimmerman makes his first appearance of the series with the bat. Finishing up for Earl Batty, shaken up in the 7th inning. Zimmerman hit .214 for the Twins during the regular season. He had 1 home run, 11 runs batted in. 1 out, 9th inning, 4-0 Dodgers. Strike, fastball on the corner. Tomorrow, looks like Don Drysdale and Mudcat Grant. Fastball missed. 1-1. Osteen trying to go all the way. He needs 2 more outs. Fastball hit to Wills. That might be it. To the bag for 1. Doubles in at first. So Claude Osteen brings the Dodgers back as they turn in their 2nd double play of the game and their 3rd of the series on the ground ball to Wills. So the windup of the 3rd game of the 1965 World Series, the final score, the Dodgers 4 runs, 10 hits, and 1 error. The Minnesota Twins, no runs, 5 hits, no errors. The winning pitcher, Claude Osteen, the losing pitcher, Camilo Pascual.
Osteen still has a shutout going into the 9th. Oliva is on first with 1 out when Zimmerman approaches the plate. Everyone is alert as Osteen strains to preserve his shutout. Osteen checks the runner, pitches, and Zimmerman hits a high bouncer straight at Wills. Morey steps on second, fires to first, and it's a double play. The Dodgers win 4-0, and Claude Osteen is the man of the hour in Los Angeles. The slender lefty hurled a 5-hitter to break the momentum of the Twins.